because you have to speak on behalf. Not everybody has that microphone in front of their face. And I think as women in sports, we can represent so many different groups, right? Yeah, so it goes both ways. It goes both ways. I think at times because we're athletes, because we're asked questions, we have microphones in front of our face, we're on national television, it's a responsibility you kind of have to take.
She was asked, how did you stand up for women everywhere? What is that like to have to answer those questions and know that answering them is...
While Angel Reese was busy with photo shoots and off-court appearances, Caitlin Clark's team was quietly building momentum and making a serious push toward the playoffs, and that contrast is far from a coincidence. It highlights a deeper story about focus, consistency, and impact on the court. WNBA legend Sue Bird has weighed in, breaking down the real reasons why one rookie is excelling at such a high level, while the other is facing challenges in finding the same rhythm and success. According to her, it's not just about talent, but also about decision-making, preparation, and how players handle the pressures of their first professional season. Before we dive deeper into this discussion, if you're enjoying this content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. A huge percentage of viewers watch regularly but aren't subscribed, and your support truly makes a difference in helping the channel grow and bring you more content like this.
I'm all for it. I think it's great. They've come in and they've taken over.
I know you've had to answer a lot of questions about this moment in women's sports.
The looks, it wasn't getting, people weren't covering it. So the fact that these two, they literally stole the college stage, both with their play and their trash talk, and then they're taking it into the WNBA. It's just going to mean good things for the rest of the landscape of women's basketball. To your point, there have been these pivotal moments, and I think what we've seen is a peak, and then sadly some sort of drop off after. We didn't have enough.
But here's where things take a dramatic turn. Sue Bird isn't holding back at all. She's openly criticizing Angel Reese, pointing to what she sees as an excessive focus on Instagram and off-court attention. And according to her, the reasons behind this criticism might surprise a lot of fans. It raises a bigger question. How does social media fame really compare to actual performance and impact on the court? When you look at what's happening right now, it almost feels unreal. On one side, you have a player like Caitlin Clark delivering results and elevating her team, while on the other side, there's a completely different narrative unfolding. It's like two separate stories playing out at the same time in women's basketball, and the contrast couldn't be more striking.
Take it away. What's up? What's on your mind?
Well, Angel Reese, she's scheduled to play in the new 3-on-3 league that's coming up. The unrivaled basketball season is starting this month, but she came under some scrutiny.
You had some stuff on your mind involving Angel Reese and what have you. So usually I'm the one that introduces the subject, but I'm going to turn around and give the floor to you since you're hanging out in my studio and all. I'm going to give the floor to you, Tori.
Around New Year's Eve, because she shared a post on her Instagram. She's had a stellar season. This is the video that is actually still on her TikTok, and she got some pretty serious pushback after.
On one side, there's Angel Reese, often labeled as the Instagram queen, and on the other, Caitlin Clark, known for her relentless gym-first mentality. The contrast between the two couldn't be more striking. Imagine Reese stepping out at a high-profile event in a bold, eye-catching outfit, turning heads like it's a red carpet moment rather than a typical appearance tied to professional basketball. The reaction from fans was intense, sparking heavy criticism online and eventually leading her to step back from social media altogether. It's a sharp shift from confidently sharing glamorous posts to suddenly wiping everything away under pressure. At the same time, Clark is taking a completely different path, staying locked in on her game, putting in long hours of training, and pushing through demanding workouts that would challenge even experienced professionals. This side-by-side comparison really highlights two very different approaches to handling fame, pressure, and performance in the spotlight.
Let's face reality. She's going to be attached to Caitlin Clark to some degree. If Angel Reese had never waved her hand in her face when the salary that you were going to make as a WNBA player, I'm all for that. But here's what I have a problem with, Tori. Angel Reese, in doing the things that she has done, LSU was beating Iowa for in the Final Four of the national championship. If that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as big. Yes, she's a talent. Yes, she would have made the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, the reason I bring up Caitlin Clark is because they're attached at the hip with one another, which means they're ultimately going to be compared, Tori. And when you look at Caitlin Clark is balling. But in terms of her popularity, it really soared after she took down Caitlin Clark. And then Caitlin Clark came back last year and got revenge by knocking LSU out in the Elite Eight, if I remember.
Caitlin Clark isn't taking anything lightly. She's in the gym every single day, treating basketball like a true full-time profession. But what really stands out is that she's not just maintaining her current level, she's constantly evolving. Like a student of the game, she's experimenting, refining her skill set, and adding new elements to her offense. From developing a smooth mid-range floater to improving her left-hand control, she's putting in the kind of detailed work that separates good players from truly elite ones. That level of commitment is what makes the difference. While Angel Reese is often caught up in the noise of social media and public attention, Clark remains locked in on performance and results. One is navigating online pressure and distractions, while the other is focused on turning hard work into wins and pushing her team closer to playoff success. She's not just going through routine drills either. She's pushing herself through intense training sessions designed to build resilience, handle pressure situations, and consistently deliver when it matters most.
Have enough understanding of how to keep the moment going. And I do think that's what's different about what's happening now. I think we're learning from whether you talk about the 99ers with soccer. You know, for me, obviously, as a basketball player, it's that 96 women's team in Atlanta that started the WNBA. Yeah. And again, it's kind of had some peaks and some valleys. And now, because of those learning curves, I guess, we understand that we have to keep pushing.
I think when you talk about the average salary, it was like approximately $124,000, if I remember correctly. Well, guess what? The average salary in the NBA is over $10 million. And we lamented the fact that she had to go overseas. Not Angel Reese, but Brittany Griner. She had to go overseas because, like a lot of them have had to over the years, you got to supplement your income because the income that you're making at the WNBA isn't nearly enough. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, to supplement your income by playing 3-on-3 basketball in the United States, in Miami specifically, for a few months where they're talking about
Caitlin Clark is approaching the game like a full-scale battle, not just another basketball match. She's completely committed to elevating her skills, treating every gym session as an opportunity to get better. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is often caught up worrying about her next social media moment, and the contrast is stark. One is chasing victories and building a legacy, while the other is chasing likes, and fans are definitely noticing. WNBA legend Sue Bird didn't hold back in weighing in on the Clark versus Reese debate. She praised Clark for her relentless work ethic, highlighting the extra hours she puts in when no one is watching, a level of dedication that separates the truly great players from the rest. Then she turned her focus to Reese, bluntly saying that she needs to realign her priorities and put basketball first. Bird even referenced LeBron James as an example. Despite fame and countless off-court commitments, he never misses a workout, a clear message about what it takes to become a legend. Bird didn't stop there. She issued a wake-up call, pointing out that when a personal brand starts to overshadow actual performance, alarm bells should ring. Her message was clear. Caring more about Instagram than basketball won't lead to championships. At the same time, Clark manages to balance her growth with community work and fan engagement, all while keeping basketball as her top priority. Reese, on the other hand, is often sidetracked by social media drama and complaints, which hasn't impressed Bird. Ultimately, Bird emphasized that success in the WNBA isn't measured by followers or viral moments. It's about showing up, putting in the work, and staying dedicated every single day. She also reminded both rookies that setbacks like being snubbed for the Olympics can be fuel for motivation. Her advice was simple but powerful. Don't let disappointment break you. Let it push you to work harder and become stronger.